Maybe we can do this one in like 20 minutes. Are we gonna do
When I don't know an answer, I turn to Google.
Oh, look it up.
Who eats snack mix?
Well, it depends what kind of snack mix.
3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Wild Josh. In this episode, Kyle theorizes about Black Panther. Chase talks about racing again, and I talk about video games. Now, let's get geeky. In our first segment, where we talk about things we did since our last episode, we each get a few minutes to talk about the geeky stuff that we've been up to. And we're going to start with you, Kyle. What have you been up to?
Well, on Sunday, Josh and I went on a date.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
With our wives. And we all went and saw Maze Runner, The Death Cure. Josh and Becky saw it for the second time. I saw it for the first.
Mm-hmm.
I was neither necessarily impressed or depressed with it.
Yep.
It was just your run-of-the-mill movie. I thought it was okay. There were things that I brought into question and things that I really liked. So, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good heist film, but it didn't stay a heist film for the whole thing. And then they brought it back. So, that was cool. I liked it. I would recommend going and see it if you have Movie Pass.
Wait, that's not how we say it.
Movie Pass.
What was that?
Movie Pass. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. That's like I opened a fridge to only beer.
Josh, that movie was worth seeing a second time or no?
Well, if I didn't have Movie Pass, I probably wouldn't have seen it a second time. But Kyle wanted to go see a movie. We had pretty much seen everything else that we wanted to see. So we said, yeah, we'll go see Movie Pass. I mean...
You'll go see Movie
Yeah,
Pass.
that's the Scotch talking. Yeah, we'll go see it again because we have Movie Pass.
We've had that Scotch for like 1 minute. You cannot be drunk yet.
It doesn't take long. So though, Kyle, you've seen all three now. Wouldn't you say though it lived up to the other ones at least?
Yeah.
I mean, the other ones weren't like blow your socks off either.
No, I think I like the first one the best.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
I would like to watch the first one again. I might even want to read the books.
I think there was more mystery about what the maze was and why they were in there and all that. The others didn't have that.
Yes, you're right. There was a hint at that, and that was interesting, but it wasn't fully explained. And I thought, all in all, the reason they were in the maze was unsatisfactory to me.
Yeah,
at least the way I interpret it.
I didn't read the book, so I'm curious if the book. Usually the book is a lot better, but I'm curious if it was a little bit more about why they were in the maze in the first place. So what else have you been up to besides watching movies with Movie Pass?
So besides that, I don't know if you guys know, but I am the editor of our podcast.
I didn't know that.
I just thought it all happened magically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Luke and Chase and Josh and Becky and Jared and those other chumps have come on, and it's awesome to be on a podcast. And then we end and it's like a week later, hey, how come the podcast isn't on yet? Oh, that's because nobody's edited it. What? That's me. And I am excited because I've been playing around with some new audio software and video software. I'll get to that in a minute. But the audio software I've been working with is like a virtual audio mixer that's made editing go a lot quicker. I'm working with a program called Voice Meter Banana, and it's something that on forums I found that a lot of podcasters like to use. So if you're thinking you'd like to start your own, I recommend it. If you have multiple hosts from different locations, and you're going to communicate over Skype, and you might want to include some audio from your computer while you're hosting your podcast. I just find that it makes editing go a little bit quicker. It's better because if I have something I want to play for the other guys, I can do that, and they can respond in real time. It's honestly made things a whole lot better. So I've loved playing around with it and figuring things out. Another nerdy thing I've been using is DaVinci Resolve, which is a video editing program that Josh recommended. Unfortunately, he can't use. But I've been using that for editing videos, and after my first video that I did, the Kylo Ren interview. If any of you don't know, I did a video based on the Kylo Ren interview. We did it a few episodes ago and put that online. It was a lot of work on my MacBook, but I downloaded DaVinci Resolve on my desktop, which is a PC, and I'm using it to make some videos that I'm going to be releasing here in a week or so, not for the podcast, and it's made everything so much easier. So that's kind of nerdy. I've been enjoying them. I really like producing these things, so it's been a lot of fun.
That's cool. I was really excited about DaVinci Resolve when I first downloaded it, and I don't know if it was my PC, my graphics card, something was giving me issues. It was basically freezing up on me every so often, so I would lose all the work I had worked on or done. So I realized it wasn't worth it for me to keep trying because I was just spinning my wheels more than anything. But from what I could see in the few minutes I was able to spend with it, it was way better than anything that you could do on Windows Movie Maker or the Apple equivalent. I forget what that's called.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to play around with that because I downloaded it when Josh said to look at it, and I didn't get very far. So
yeah.
There's a video in production for me that's supposed to be uploaded on the YouTube channel about like 2 or 3 months ago. And the ETA of that is probably about another year and a half. So look forward to that.
Well, I would cut it down to about 6 months now that you have DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing too. If you're a self-starter with any of these programs, there's trial and error. You're going to have to figure out how things work. We use Audacity right now to produce this podcast, and it's trial and error. There are things I didn't know after we've been doing the podcast for a little while that Josh was like, hey, how come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error, but then if you can't figure something out, Google it. That's what I would recommend, Chase, and anyone. Like, Google it, try to figure out how to use this software, because there are so many people that love what they do. Using these programs, you're going to find a video or a blog or something about these programs to be able to use them better.
Yeah, you're right. I know that just when I was having issues with it, I just did a quick search on Google to see what was going on, and everyone was saying that my PC probably wasn't able to handle it. So that's where I came up with that idea. But yeah, so Google it. You'll be able to figure it out. Someone has got a walkthrough tutorial of how to use it. Anything else, Kyle?
That's all I did this week.
Chase, what have you been up to?
I've been up to a couple different things, which is strange for me because I'm usually the one who says, oh, I didn't do anything. So I'm going to start with Madden. I've actually just gotten back into Madden. I've taken a little bit of a break from it just because the gameplay has been very much the same. I'd kind of gotten bored. So I started doing what I'm considering a realistic rebuild. So starting with the Bills and playing through as the Bills, trying to make what would be realistic trades or realistic drafting, not trading up to the number 1 overall pick every time because that's just too easy. And seeing if I can get the Bills back to the playoffs and then see if I can get them into the Super Bowl. So that's been entertaining. And then I also downloaded NFL Mobile on my phone. I've got back into that. I used to be good at that. On my phone, I used to have a team of like all elite players. So now I'm starting back over from scratch. Worked my way back up. My team is nearly all gold players now. I've got a couple of elites. So yeah, just going to keep grinding through that. But that's actually been keeping me entertained, which is nice.
Sweet.
Now, what levels do you go through there? You said gold and elite. What are the levels you can have of players?
So when you start the game, they're going to start you with an entire team of just bronze players. So in terms of regular Madden overalls, they're 58, 59
out of 100.
Out of 99, because for some reason EA decides that 100 is too good for a realistic player. So from like 53 to 59 is bronze. I don't think you'll find anybody lower than 52, but don't quote me on that. And then from 60 to, I don't know if it's 69, I don't know if it's in 10 increments or whatever, but those would be silver players. Definitely really good to have on your starting team. When you're playing against just the AI, then it helps you finish the games way quicker because your people can actually catch and run. It's great. Especially on the offensive line, you get a lot more time to sit back and throw, protecting against a bunch of bronze pass rushers. And then 70 to 79 would be your gold players. At the stage that I'm at, they're really good. You can start to actually get into some head-to-head matches and not be completely just destroyed. And then anything above an 80, you get into the elite players, which are a red card rather than a gold. So yeah, those are the rare cards of really good players. And of course, Madden does all kinds of special packs all the time. Like there's a team of the week where they pick a bunch of really good players, and you get like a specialty card of them. I just got Super Bowl 51 Tom Brady, as compared to you can get just a normal Tom Brady, but I have the Super Bowl 51 edition of him as my quarterback right now. Last year on my old team, I had an out of position Doug Baldwin. So I had Doug Baldwin, the wide receiver from the Seahawks, as my quarterback. So that was fun. So they do all kinds of weird random things.
So I do have one question about Tom Brady, Super Bowl 51 versus regular Tom Brady.
Yep.
What's the difference?
Super Bowl 51 Tom Brady is really easy to get. So basically, I think you get him for finishing all of one branch of the tutorial. Just about any player can have him, so he's not rated that highly overall. Whereas a regular Tom Brady, who is more rare to get, would have a higher rating than normal.
So wait a second. Comeback.
Yes.
Super Bowl 51 Tom Brady is worse than regular Tom Brady.
MVP Tom Brady is worse than the regular Tom Brady, yes.
Awesome.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose.
And, well, with my team last year, I had Doug Baldwin, so a wide receiver was rated higher overall than Tom Brady was. So, yeah. Madden needs to work on their realism sometimes. Sticking in the realm of video games, though, I've been playing some racing video games, which is my specialty. That's my favorite kind of game, is racing games. But I actually got to participate in an event with one of the guys that I watch on YouTube. He's got like 1.5 million subscribers or something.
Wow.
So he had a kind of a fan day where, I think it was like 15 of us all got in a call with him on Discord, and we got to play F1 2016 together, which was a lot of fun. It was very stressful. There's a lot of loud noises and shouting from people crashing into each other. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. So it was me and this one YouTuber who we had all, gotten to play with. And then he invited two of his other friends who are also YouTubers. I actually watch all three of them. I think they're all really funny and they're all really good. So of the non-YouTubers, I was the best. So of the people who don't play video games for a living, I did the best out of anybody. So that was good. I had a lot of fun with it.
Sweet.
How did you get on that call?
Magic.
Magic. That's how you got on the call?
And a little bit of money. No, so to be part of the Discord server, they all have Patreon accounts, so I pay a little bit of money to kind of support them, because YouTube is terrible now with the way that you make money from it. So yeah, I support this guy. It gets me access to his Minecraft server, to the Discord, and to this racing segment.
Did you plug about Geek-Cetera on there?
No.
Nice.
I don't want to get kicked off. I mean, I was just there to enjoy my time.
Chase, you're part of a fellow YouTuber group. So actually, of the YouTubers, Geek-Cetera was the worst driver there.
That is not true. I placed above one of the other YouTubers.
Okay.
So we were the third. We got a podium. We were a podium of YouTube.
Okay, good.
But I don't play video games professionally like they do. So that's how I'm able to justify to myself that I didn't win.
Fair enough.
Sweet. All right. Anything else, Chase?
Nope. That's it from me.
So I've been up to playing some video games. I'm a big Civilization fan. I don't know if many of our listeners know what Civilization is or are fans of that. But it came back. The original one came out in '91. I've been playing it ever since '91. So my friend and I, growing up, we used to play Civilization like crazy on his computer. And it was literally, I made a tweet the other day about it. So if you were really curious, but it was literally like a very crude drawn map and these little squares with like a picture of a stick figure bowman on it and like just things like that. And you would just move those squares around and like take over the continent or the globe. So it started from there, and now it's up to Civilization 6. They just released, I guess, last year. And I knew it was out, but I hadn't been getting it. And I saw this weekend that they had a special where I think it was this weekend. Yeah, it was this weekend. They were basically giving it to you free on Steam for the whole weekend, which was actually a really good tactic because I probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I actually was like, I really want to play Civilization. So I was just going to go on and play Civ 5, which I already owned. I owned Civ 5 and all the expansions for it. So I'm like, I'm just going to go on and play Civ 5 because it was good enough for me. And then I saw that Civ 6 was out and that they were giving it away free for the weekend. And I'm like, okay, I'll try that. And it sucked me in so hard that I ended up buying it at the end of the weekend. And I've been playing that game like crazy. I just, I had today off. So I played for the majority of the day, which is pretty pathetic. But that game is so addicting to me. It's like crack. I can't stop playing. Like it's a turn-based strategy game. So you take your turn and then you hit enter, and then all the other civilizations will take their turns. If you're playing with the PC, it happens really quickly because they can do it fast. But I'm just playing against the PC. I'm not playing multiplayer. But anyways, I discovered I really like the Persians. Cyrus of the Persians. He's got this unit called the Immortal. Is awesome. I was a little bummed because it's been so long since I played that the game that I was playing, which was like a marathon game. I made it all the way to the very end. It was like the early 1900s. There was only 2 civilizations left, me and the Romans and the French. And I was about to start a war with the French. And all of a sudden there was this cutscene and it was like my city in ruins. And I'm like, what the heck happened? And it was like, you lost. I'm like, how did I lose? Apparently with this game, you can lose. One of the ways you can lose is with religion. And the French were like pushing their religion everywhere. And I didn't really think that was a big deal. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So they're converting all my cities. Well, apparently they like converted the whole globe and they ended up winning that way. So it stinks because there's my empire was like so huge. It was over continents and there was only 2 other civilizations left and I was going to wipe them out. No problem. And the French ended up beating me because they converted everyone. So I started a new game after that loss. I decided to be the Romans. I really like the Romans because the Romans, their bonus is that every city you build automatically connects roads to your capital.
Oh,
so
wow. That's
roads,
awesome.
Roads are really nice, especially early on when your units, especially if your cities are spread out, because to get your units across a large area, it can be slow. If you have roads, though, it makes it a little faster. So, and their special unit was a Legion, but the Legion is not as good as the Immortal. The Immortal is like incredible, especially for an early on military unit. He's basically a very strong land unit that can attack adjacent tiles, but he also has the ability to be a bowman, so he can shoot 2 tiles away. So, and Chase, you're familiar, I think, with Civ 5. If you're trying to take over a city, if you're trying to advance into a city, you bring your bowmen out and you leave them back a little bit and you put your strong defenders up front and you just basically bombard the city until it gets low enough that you can just walk in. Well, with the Immortal, they can be those defenders and they can be bowmen. So it's like you just need Immortal and that's it. And you can just sweep through super quickly. So, so I'm not loving the Romans as much, but I do like the road perk. So I don't know. I really like this game. I think that we would actually have a lot of fun with it because we like playing board games. And this is like Civilization.
An online board game.
Is basically, it's as close to a board game as you can get it's a turn-based strategy game. It's like Risk, but on speed.
Before you go any further, I'm going to pick something out.
What?
couple things. First
Yeah.
thing, you said you had the day off today.
Yeah.
So earlier today, listeners, Josh was texting us and he said, "Hey, you guys want to do the podcast tonight? Yes or no?" And I said yes. And then a few texts later, Josh was like, Kyle, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know.
I thought it was Chase that said yes. I didn't think it was
well,
you.
You weren't paying attention to it. I was at work.
I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to rule not the galaxy, but at least the planet.
So then he was asking some other questions, and I said something as like, well, you don't sound that enthusiastic about it. I wanted to be like, what are you doing today? What are you doing today? Well, now I know. You weren't doing anything.
Besides playing Civilization, I did do some housework.
And I was breadwinning. What housework? You just said your wife was cleaning up from dinner. What did you do?
I did the dishes. I emptied the trash. I took care of the cat box. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I don't have a cat because I'm smart. But anyways, I just thought I'd point that out.
Anyway, so after all this, I was thinking, because we've been talking a lot about how there should be a game that we get into.
Yes.
That we would like to get a game that we could all get into. And Luke was saying that he wanted it to be this Monster Hunter game. Well, kind of. But he was also saying, like, oh, it's not for everyone, so maybe you should check it out first and all this. And I'm like, it's a $60 game, right? Right now, I don't have a ton of money. Civ was $30, which was affordable to me. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. So then I see that Civ 6 is out, and I'm like, $30 was free. I'm like, maybe this is the game. I talked to Luke. Luke's like, oh yeah, I like that game. I have that game. So I'm like, oh great. So we got one in. Now we're along our way to being able to play this. I have another friend, Eric. He's really into Civ, and he's thinking about getting it as well. So I'm like, all right, we're getting somewhere. And then Luke comes and says, basically, no, I'm not putting any time into anything else except for Monster Hunter because everything else stinks and you're a loser for wanting to play Civilization. And even though I have it and I could play with you, I don't want to play with you because we're really not that close to friends.
Wow.
That's what I got from it anyways. And I really...
Okay, so those weren't his exact words.
Did we get the same text, or did he text you privately? I mean, maybe there are some unspoken things that you can pick out.
It's unspoken.
You must be a real linguist.
It's an unspoken thing. I know how Luke thinks. No, but it was irritating because here we're trying to play something together, and then Luke basically says, I'm not willing to play anything else but this Monster Hunter game.
Boy, do I have the game for you guys then.
Oh, is it racing?
Nope. It is... It's called Tabletop Simulator. So this game is actually really cool. So it's a Steam game.
Wait, Luke has no time to play anything else except Monster Hunter. Don't even ask him.
No, trust me, he'll like this one. If he ever listens, he won't listen to the podcast. Never mind.
He won't listen to the podcast, later, and he won't listen to Reason either. So
what is, aside from, what is Luke's favorite thing outside of video games? Board games, right?
His wife.
Being a jerk.
Oh, wait, but doesn't...
No, being married. He loves his wife.
So he's a big board game guy, right?
Huge.
So this game, Tabletop Simulator, people make on the Steam Workshop board games, and you can just input them in, and everyone can play this board game online together. So you can do like card games, you can do Uno, everything. You can just download it all into this singular thing, and you all just log in, and you're sitting at a table, and it's like you're sitting at a table in real life.
Why can't we just do that with Civilization?
Because Civilization we have to spend $60 on.
No, we don't. It's $30.
Is it still $30?
Yeah.
You can play Moncala. You can play pickup sticks?
Yeah, you can. So you can play any game. So I was even going to look and see if they had Evil Baby Orphanage.
Oh, I sold that, by
the
way.
Sold. It's gone.
You're a jerk. So you can download just about any game that has ever existed. My friends and I played Candyland on it once. We've played a game called Family Business. We've played Bang.
Family Business? I have Family Business.
Yeah, so all these games you can get on this. So that way you don't have to pay for it. You only have to pay for the game once. And then anything you can think of is just online that you can download. People have made the Snakes and Ladders game from SpongeBob for it. So it's like, it's impressive.
Chase, do you have Steam?
Yeah, I have Steam. Why wouldn't I have Steam? I play video games all the time.
What's your Steam name?
That's a question that I don't have an answer to.
What do you mean? I want to add you to my...
Probably just IndyCar Champion.
Now I don't know how to add friends.
I don't even know where my Steam went.
IndyCar Champion?
Yep.
IndyCar. Add a friend. Hey, do you have Boba Fett as your...
Yes, I do.
That's you, huh? Profile's private. How do I add you?
Oh, you click the Add Friends button. All right, what's yours? I have the Add Friends thing up.
Mine's Wild Josh.
Wild Josh. What is your profile picture?
It's like a blue background with a
Okay,
silhouette
yep.
of a black guy. Yeah.
Oh, the one that has, 25 hours already on Civ 6.
Is it 25?
So it says 25.
Oh, that's perverse.
That's funny. There's a game that's Othello with a chessboard and a 20-sided die.
Kyle, do you have
Yes.
Steam?
You're gonna have.
I'm cool. But and it has
Yeah, so
other
this
stuff.
is a game that
I
you're
can't
definitely
even
gonna
think
have
of
to
the
get.
names of this stuff. This is cool.
So you can play any board game that you can think of. You can play on here.
I should be playing Civilization in the background while we're doing this. Oh, Subnautica. I wanted to try that game. Anyways, that was what I've been up to pretty much, is playing Civ pretty hardcore, and I'm probably going to play as soon as we're done recording. So let's hurry up and get this over with.
Do you have digital deluxe or just regular Civ?
I don't want to answer that question.
Josh.
So at checkout, I saw that it was like $10 more
Yep.
to get the digital deluxe, and I'm like, oh, I like those Civilizations it was offering. So I splurged and spent the $10 extra. But you don't have to. It gives you like scenarios that you can play. I like playing the scenarios sometimes.
There's a Pokemon board game that's on this.
Kyle, there's everything. You just need to get the game.
How much is the game?
Kyle's the one looking at it, not me.
Kyle, how much is this game?
$19.99, so $20.
Yeah, so $20, and it's infinite board games. I'm sure that there's Clank on there too. We could get and download Clank, and that's something that you can record and put up on the channel.
Yeah, sure. So, anyways, I'll keep moving on. So, besides Civilization, there's another thing I did this weekend. When was it, Kyle? Was it Friday night?
Friday night. So, Josh, you might remember this from last episode. Josh made this comment.
I should put that into a YouTube video. It'll get like 2 views, and I'll spend about a day on it. But it will make me happy.
Josh.
Yes, I did say that. That was me.
You can never say that again.
What?
Ever.
Why?
Because of the story you're about to tell.
Okay. So I'm home watching TV with my wife. It's Fridays before I got into Civilization hard. And I get a phone call from Kyle, and I'm like, why is Kyle calling me? Kyle only ever calls me when he butt dials me. So I'm thinking, he's butt dialed me. He doesn't really want to talk to me. So I'm kind of letting it ring. And then I'm like, I'll just answer it. So I answer it. And Kyle's like all out of breath on the other line. And he's like, Josh, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Did you see Twitter? And I'm like, no. What's going on, Kyle? I'm like, Lassie, what? Tell me, Lassie. And he's like, Mark Hamill retweeted you. So I'm like, what? So earlier in the day, I got this idea from, because I don't know, it just came to me that some of the Star Wars Who's Who videos I've been making, that maybe I should, after I make a video, send a tweet to a person that is the character. So like usually these actors are not anyone big, but I did one on Dabu Skay, who is the drunk guy at Canto Bight that Mark Hamill voiced. So I decided to send him that video, and he basically responded to me saying that he watched it and that he thought it was cool that I gave props to Bob Duxey, and he was very nice and everything. And since then, because of that, obviously, that tweet was getting liked and retweeted a ton, and it didn't really amount to a whole lot of extra views for the video. I think it bumped it up like double, but it didn't it's not like it went viral or anything. But it was just cool that Mark Hamill watched a video that I made. And it was the legit Mark Hamill. It wasn't some Mark Hamill. It was the Mark Hamill with the blue check mark. It's the Mark Hamill that everyone follows on Twitter. It was the legit Mark Hamill. And Kyle immediately sent him a message on Twitter. I didn't know he did that, so I sent him a message too. So he probably was like, oh, these guys are a little too much now. So he never responded again. But he did respond once, so that was cool.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It was really exciting. I was like super excited that night. My wife's like, because we're about to have a baby, and she's like, I think you're happier now than you will be when the baby's born. And I said, I don't know, hard to say, but it was just really cool. I mean, Mark Hamill was awesome, and it was cool that he responded to a tweet. So
yeah,
that was basically all I've done. I tweeted Mark Hamill, and I've played Civilization, and that's it since last episode.
All right, I like it.
Anyone else have anything else they wanted to add before we move on?
No.
Nope.
I'm itchy.
All right. You're what?
Nothing.
Okay. So that concludes this segment. But before we move on, let's first get a word from our friends.
Hey, Zebrelios here. You're listening to Geek-Cetera. Stay tuned. There's a lot more cool stuff to come. Carabast.
All right, and we're back with fan theories, where we get to talk about some theories that we just can't get enough of. And we're going to start with you, Kyle. What's on your mind?
All right, I just have a quick theory. We know Black Panther is coming out this week, February 16th. And my guess, because this is the last Marvel film that's coming out before Avengers Infinity War, that the last remaining Infinity Stone, the Soul Stone, will be identified in this Black Panther movie. Probably something that Wakanda, the Kingdom of Wakanda, where Black Panther comes from, has had for a long time. And that's where we'll find the Soul Stone. So that's my theory in a nutshell.
I think your theory is good. I don't usually say that, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah. And it's not groundbreaking. It's probably one that everybody else has, but I figured I'd say it before the movie came out. By the way, did you guys know that it is no longer Avengers Infinity War Part 1?
What is it?
I did not know that.
Okay, I didn't either. It's just Avengers Infinity War. There is still another Avengers movie that is planned upcoming.
But it doesn't have a title?
It's untitled. It's no longer Part 2. It's been that way since July of 2016, and I have not even... I haven't paid attention.
Wow.
Wait, really? How did that slip by everybody?
I'm sure it didn't slip by everybody, just by the people who claim to be geeks.
Just the Geek-Cetera crew.
Luke probably knew.
So that's pretty... Yeah, I actually agree with you on this one, so there's not much I can say about that. I think it makes sense. You didn't go way out on a limb here.
Well, I mean, you guys know about the Soul Stone, right? It's the stone that created James Brown, the Soul Man. So whoever gets it is going to be just a deeply soulful singer, songer, and dancer.
Okay.
And that's where it goes crazy.
Yep. What about you, Chase?
All right, so mine is a Star Wars theory, which is something I haven't done in a while, so I feel okay doing it.
Okay.
And it's not one that I'm crazy about. It's just something that I found on the internet because Kyle's complaining that nobody else had theories today. So this one says that Padme was actually sick and dying, and Anakin was the one keeping her alive subconsciously. So Anakin was super powerful Jedi, and he thinks that, he has to go to the dark side in order to save her. But this theory presents the fact that, he was subconsciously using his power to keep her alive through what would have been, a Star Wars equivalent of cancer or something.
So I need some evidence.
Then when he switches, well, you're not going to get any evidence. It's a fan theory.
So usually a fan theory has some sort of evidence, like some reason that I can buy into it. There's no reason to buy into it?
No, there's no reason to buy into it. It's just there to be in existence. And then the reason that, she actually died is that, when Anakin choked her, that stopped his protection or whatever, his protection field, or when he was, unconscious and being operated on, that's when it all happened, whatever. But
I think I have to say that there's been two theories that I really just did not connect with. The theory that the dinosaurs are smarter than we think, and this theory.
Okay, so
there's no evidence at all.
At least look at the alternative.
We don't even see her like cough or anything that shows maybe
because
there's something wrong with her.
Anakin's keeping her alive, Josh.
What?
Because Anakin's keeping her alive, Josh. Are you not even paying attention to what Chase is saying?
Paying attention. It's lame.
It's like he's speaking, but you're not listening.
So you like this theory, Kyle?
It's a lot better than she died for a broken heart.
Exactly. That's the thing I was going to say, is there's no other reason that she would have died other than her being sick. And people are saying that,
I told you how
Sidious,
she died.
Sidious drains her life force or whatever.
Sidious drained her to create Vader.
No.
That is the best theory.
It's a theory.
There's
And
more evidence to it than she was sick from space cancer.
So, actually, I did find this person posted your evidence. He said, his dreams of Padme dying are because his subconscious was active during the night to try and keep her alive while he was asleep. There you go.
There's some evidence, I suppose.
There is all of the evidence.
That's the only evidence that there is. It's weak.
Yes.
But so
There
your
you go.
theory, though, I will have to say is better than my theory, which I didn't bring a theory. So, yeah. So that was a really quick segment. So
Yeah, it was.
we hope you liked our theories, and on to the next. But first, a word from our friends.
This segment is brought to you by Preventure Service Company. Got a major renovation you need done? Armin's been doing it all since 1981. For fast and friendly service, contact Preventure at gsinet.net.
In our next segment, which we call News and Rumors Oh My, we bring you some of our geeky news and rumors that we were able to dig up in the last week. And we're going to start with you, Kyle. What do you have?
All right, so this is not a rumor, this is news, and I did bring it up last week, but have you guys heard about Star Wars Secrets of the Empire?
Very briefly.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Is it like Shadows of the Empire?
Shadows of the Empire, the bridge book between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, nothing like that. What it is a Star Wars virtual reality experience launched by ILM, XLab, and The Void. I think we already talked about what ILM was, right? Industrial Lights and Magic. We covered that last week.
We did.
We did. Okay, let's move on then. So what it is, it's a rebel mission for you and up to 3 of your friends or 3 strangers, possible future friends, at the Void Experience Center. So what's very cool about this is the Void employees, as soon as you get in there, because you've already pre-bought your ticket, as soon as you get in there, the Void employees, they don't break the fourth wall. They refer to you and the others as rebels. One of the first things you do to get into the mission is they say, hey, we've got to get you on this mission, but we need you to use the Force to open that door. And the girl told me that, and I was like, how? Yeah, whatever. I wish I could. And she goes, oh, well, I guess we can't go on with the mission. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I put my hand out. I swiped right. Not Tinder-wise. I swiped left. I just swiped my hand. Swiped my hand, and the door opened. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I have a god complex now. But that's what they do. They get you immersed in the story. They also, like... another example is like they refer to Cassian Andor, who does have a bit part in this story. He's played by the original actor Diego Luna as their captain. They refer to him as their captain, so they don't break that fourth wall. So you're starting to get that setting, right? So we said Cassian's from the Rogue One movie, so that's the time frame we're looking at. In this mission, you're joined by K2SO. Again, played by the original actor, or the voice actor, Alan Tudyk. He's a non-player character, but you do go on this mission with him. Now, this mission it's a fully immersive experience. You engage your senses. Sound, definitely, touch. You're at one point, or I guess for the mission, you're on the planet Mustafar, so you step out onto... into the open air. There's lava there. You feel the heat. It's so amazing. I got to do this when I was in Disney. You get to wear a haptic suit. So Ready Player One fans, that's kind of what you're getting into. You got a whole vest that you're wearing. You're strapped in. You get not haptic gloves, but you definitely get a visor that you're gonna wear. In the environment is interactive too. So you get to explore that. Find out really the limits of what's going on. No running or jumping, but there's definitely walking around. You're going to be walking through doors. I felt like I had to be really careful, or else I'm going to fall off into the lava on Mustafar. Like I probably look like a real dork to these people, because there is someone watching you while you go to make sure you don't hurt yourself. By the way, earlier I said that you can have up to 3 friends. I did this by myself, so I was very lonely. But that's okay. I'm usually lonely. But like I said, it does push you to that limits to explore your settings. There was a door I had to open, so I pulled a panel. I had to follow a series of buttons to push to crack a code or whatever. So the buttons were real. There was an R2 unit that you see, and you can interact with. You reach out, and it's a real unit. I don't want to get into this. I don't want to spoil a lot for it, just in case you do it. But those are the kind of things you get to see and do. And I was literally nervous at one point because there was a character with a lightsaber, and I was thinking, okay, I know what's going on. I know what I've been feeling. What if they hit me with a lightsaber? What am I going to feel? I was definitely very hesitant about that interaction.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. And again, for Ready Player One fans, there are Easter eggs to hunt. Or at least that's what I hear, because I jumped the gun and probably missed out on a better experience because I had something happen in the mission that gave my location away very early on, and I won't tell you what that was, so you know, just in case you get to make the same mistake and blow your $30. So I didn't see what those Easter eggs were, but it totally changed the mission for me. It's very detailed. There are 360-degree environments. You can look around. You see a horizon when you're out in Mustafar. You look up. You can see a very detailed room in whatever room you're in. Now, the only thing I will say, like, I wasn't with people, so I don't know if you could look and see them, which I imagine you could. But if you're looking at yourself, I looked down. I could see my hands. That was very cool, wearing Stormtrooper armor. But that's all I saw was my hands and my arms. I had no legs. I had no body. I don't really know how they were hitting me with the blaster bolts because I was all arms.
If you're fighting stormtroopers, they should never hit you, so you should be all set.
That's true. Well, I got hit a couple times. So where is this, you might be wondering?
I am wondering. Where is it, Kyle?
Currently at 3 locations. The first 2 opened on December 16th. One in Disney Springs and Orlando, Florida. Tickets are currently available. Again, it opened December 16th. I see tickets going through April 30th. And
so Disney Springs, is that like downtown Disney?
It is. So what that means is it's a Disney experience, but you don't need park tickets to get in there.
Right.
So you can pre-buy. The experience is $30, I want to say. And you don't have to have extra tickets. You can just go to downtown Disney and do this. The other location that opened on December 16th is at Shepherd's Bush in Westfield, London. I don't know where that is. I think that might be in another country. But it opened on December 16th. If you can find it, it runs through March 7th.
They're not running it forever? It's going to only be in that location for a limited period?
Yes.
Or all the locations for a limited period.
I don't know if they're going to expand the dates. I don't know if they're going to find other locations. But right now, and I looked myself, like on the website, you can only book up to those dates.
Well, if this ever came to the Boston area, I would definitely do it. But I'm not going to be going to Florida. That's what I was about to ask.
Do you think that this is something that they could or will move to other cities as kind of a traveling circus, so to say?
I do. It's very popular, and I don't know, Josh, if you want to look up and see if how many Void centers there are. There might be one in Boston.
It's called The Void?
The Void, yeah. So the third spot that it's open right now, and this is where I went, is in Anaheim, California. It opened on January 5th. And tickets are currently available for pre-order through March 6th. So this is another a short term that they're going to be there. Now, a 4th location is opening on March 29th, and that's in Westfield, Stratford City, London. So it might be out of the country. If it is, I hope you're out of the country too. That runs through May 13th. So if you don't get to go to the Shepherd's Bush location, you can go to the Westfield, Stratford City location in London beginning March 29th. And if you're in any of these locations for any reason, funeral, someone kidnaps you, whatever. If you're there, do it.
So just for those who are curious, I just looked. The Void is in 8 locations: Anaheim, California, Dubai,
India.
yeah, well, the United Arab Emirates, Utah for some reason, and then
Obviously.
London, and there's 2 locations in London, one Shepherd's Bush, one Stafford City. Then New York City is probably the closest to us, NYC, NY, and Orlando, and then Toronto, Canada. So that's where they are.
Well, if they open in New York, I guess we're doing a Geek-Cetera trip.
Yeah, they got one in New York. I don't know if they're doing the same experience as the ones that you saw. It doesn't look like they are. It
No.
looks like right now they're doing a Ghostbusters one.
Right, so it's the Star Wars one is only available in those 3 gonna be 4 locations. If they open it up again, we'll keep watching.
Yeah, cool. I would really like to try that, so I hope it comes closer.
Yeah, it is fantastic, and I almost went again because I feel like I messed up my first opportunity. But if it opens in New York, I want to go again to not mess up.
Yeah, so it's in New York. It's at Madame Tussauds, the wax museum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. All right, what about you, Chase?
I have a little bit more Star Wars news. Mine is on the Star Wars Rebels front. So we've been waiting a little while. We'd gotten the mid-season break, and then we got the rest of Season 4 trailer, the last season. And we've just been sitting here waiting for it to show up.
Yeah.
The date that I have seen is February 19th. Will be the premiere of the end of Season 4. And it looks like
And the
we're
end of
getting
Rebels.
7 episodes, is what they said. And I think 3 of those are all the finale. They said that we're getting 3 30-minute episodes as the finale. Finale airing March 5th. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we get to wrap up Rebels, and hopefully we'll see where that leads going into the Disney streaming service and going into everything else that's going on around this
Yeah.
time of year. Especially
Yeah.
the Solo story, because that works out pretty well with the timing.
That's true.
So I wonder if those 2 will tie in at all, or if
They
you'll
might.
see
They might.
Han Solo and Rebels or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
that'll be interesting.
I know that for me personally, anyways, they took way too long of a break.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I kind of felt
certainly.
like I'm like I don't really remember even where we left off at this point.
Yeah, I forgot what happened in the first half of season
Yeah.
4.
I don't know why they took so long of a break. I know they don't really care about our opinion, but it
Yeah.
seems like it was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
So-
Yeah.
No. Anything else, Chase?
Nope, that's it.
So I got a couple things. Pretty brief. I know a while back I talked about for my movie trailer, Alita Battle Angel. And I just got the news before the show that got pushed back 5 months to December 21st. And I thought that was really crazy because me and Kyle went to go see Death Cure the other day. It was on Sunday night. And they played that trailer before Death Cure. They played Alita Battle Angel. And I talked about that movie and the trailer probably like a month ago on an episode. So they pushed it back like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's I mean, like 10 months away now. And for a movie that they've already been showing the trailer for over a month. So it's kind of bizarre. They must have had some issues with it or something and had to do some reshoots or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's got so Alita Battle Angel, if you're looking forward to that, it got pushed back to December 21st. So you got some waiting to do. The other news I got, I saw this the other day, and I thought it was cool to talk about, was Ready Player One. They released a really cool 80s looking movie trailer for it. And if anyone knows anything
Movie
about
poster.
yeah, sorry, movie poster, not trailer. If anyone
So we already
knows
have a
about
trailer.
if anyone knows about Ready Player One, they know that it's based. Most of the stuff is 80s references. So it was kind of cool that they came out with this poster to look like some of those 80s references that they were talking about in the book. So you can find that any place on the internet. It's all over the place. And I think on Facebook I actually shared it, so you can check it out there if you'd like. And then in other news, I didn't even know this was happening, but I guess they're making a Nikola Tesla movie biopic This could be about his life, and they cast their Nikolai Tesla, and it's going to be Ethan Hawke. So I don't know what you guys think about that casting.
Okay.
But I'm kind of curious about how that movie will be because he's an interesting character, if you ask me. So that's all I got. Anyone have anything before we move on?
Nope.
Oh, this is cool.
You like that?
Yeah.
Thought you would. So that's all we have for news and rumors, and we're going to move on. But before we do, let's first get a word from our friends.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. This segment is brought to you by Freihofer Septic Design, the name to know before you go. Call now. Dial 603-209-1221 to make your business our business. I want this poster. Oh, I'm getting this. This is replacing my other poster. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Oh.
I'm ordering this right now.
Order it. And we're back, and we're going to talk about trailers that we just can't get enough of, trailers that we really can't wait to either play or see. And I'm going to start this segment, and I'm going to talk about a movie that I'm really not that excited about. I'm going to talk about Pacific Rim Uprising. I don't know if you're excited about this at all. It's the sequel to Pacific Rim. I actually did not see Pacific. Well, I can't say I didn't see it. I'd never saw the whole thing. I think I caught pieces of it on TV one time, of the original Pacific Rim. But this one has John Boyega and a bunch of people I don't know. And they're in robots, and they're beating up monsters. I think that's pretty much what happens in the first one. For some reason, it just never interested me. The first one, it kind of looked a little B-rate, and I kind of get the same feeling from this one. But if you are interested in it, I'll let you know the release date, which is March 23rd, 2018, coming soon. But you never know, because I have Movie Pass, I probably will see it, because why not?
I'm excited for it.
That's what I got. What about you, Chase?
So you were just saying that film looks B-rate, right?
Yes.
So you ready for something that's looked even more B-rate to me?
Yeah, I am.
This is a movie called The Meg. So it's scheduled to come out 2018. I forget the 10th of August, 2018. So I watched the trailer for this. It looks like something you would see in a high school video production class. It's the stereotypical, just cuts to scenes of the ocean.
Ooh.
In the darkest depths of the ocean, one man must face his fears. That kind of trailer.
I like it.
And here's the thing that surprised me, is, the entire trailer looked so cheesy. It looks like it's going to be a Jaws knockoff. But I'm not one for, big names in movies. I don't know a lot of people. I do know, however, Jason Statham, who's going to be the main character of this movie. Yeah. I do know Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight, who's going to be playing a character in this movie. So it's not like they have a B-rate cast and they're just trying to make a junky little movie. It looks like they're actually trying to make a movie. And it looks like they're doing Jaws, but bigger and prehistoric. So they're trying to combine...
like a Megalodon or something like that?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So they're trying to combine... That's why it's called The Meg. So trying to combine Jurassic Park and Jaws and into one unholy child.
I just saw a picture, and this shark is humongous. It's like the size of the Titanic.
Yes. So the brief rundown, it says, after escaping an attack by what he claims to be a 70-foot shark, Jonas Taylor must confront his fears to save those trapped in a sunken submersible. And the issue that I have reading this little blurb and watching the trailer, they don't quite match up. The trailer was more about, a rich playboy builds the world's biggest aquarium and is trying to stock it. And this tells me that now he's going to be saving people from a sunken submarine. So, and so the trailer looks kind of cheesy. And so I'm just like, out of curiosity, let me look up what the budget is. The budget is an estimated $150 million.
What?
So it has a huge budget.
Yeah.
That's what, $50 million less than Star Wars Last Jedi. So I'm very concerned. What I did find pleasantly surprising, though, is, it'd be very easy to go to an R rating, lots of blood and gore, whatever. Looks like they're keeping it PG-13.
Yeah, I see that. PG-13, yeah.
So there you go. Add it to your Movie Pass list.
Oh, well, we'll see.
August.
Yeah, I'm not a big shark guy. I don't like sharks. They scare me. So we'll see if I can deal with it.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, it's Movie Pass, so we'll go.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Kyle.
The poster you were talking about, that's the one that looks like the Back to the Future poster, right?
That's the one I was looking at.
I think so. I shared it on our Geek-Cetera in Facebook. Let me look at it again.
You think that we actually?
I don't have Geek-Cetera Facebook.
I know. I'm talking to myself. Oh, I put up a meme on Facebook today. I like this. It has Obi-Wan, and he's like, it's old Obi-Wan from the original, and he's there, and it says, now that's a name I haven't heard since I threw your dad into a volcano and cut off his legs.
Times. That's like 2 years old. Come on.
Is it? What? Oh, I never seen that before.
That one's been out there for a while.
I liked it.
Yeah, the Alec Guinness, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting this at the bottom of our show notes. Page 6.
Yes. It's the one where Parzival's got his hand up.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that was it before I saw another one, and I was like, I'm going to buy that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Confirm and pay.
Did you just buy it?
Yes.
They have it out already, huh? To buy.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so it's your turn, Kyle. What movie trailer are you excited about?
Not a movie trailer. I am looking
trailer.
forward to Spider-Man, the video game, published by Sony. So it's going to be released on PS4 formats. And so I watched the trailer. Has a 2018 release date. And some outlets had previously reported it to be released on September 28th, 2018, but that has since been removed, so it's just a vague 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw it because I was looking for just video game trailers in general on YouTube, and I saw just a picture of Spider-Man, so I was like, oh, this looks really cool. Well, the trailer didn't psych me up. It looked like, just at first watch, the Arkham series of Batman games. You guys, I know Josh played that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. I did.
I never played it, but
I never played it.
You didn't play the Arkham series?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, anyways, it didn't psych me up. I mean, the Arkham series was okay, but I wasn't. It seemed to get repetitive. I hope this isn't the case, but apparently, the open world in this Spider-Man game is very huge, and the entire world is going to be available from the start of the game. So that's cool.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope, go ahead.
I remember when they were talking about this game coming out, they originally hyped it as it was going to be like Infamous with Spider-Man, and it was, I think, going to be created by the same people that did Infamous.
That would make sense because I think Infamous and Batman were both very similar. I didn't care for Infamous.
Oh, I loved Infamous. Oh, Infamous was great. Second Son, not the first one. I didn't play the first one.
Okay.
But the Infamous Second Son. Did you try that one?
I think I played it a little bit, but
that was open world where you could like jump from building to building and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it was pretty big world. I really liked that game.
Yeah. So it's that Infamous to me was also very similar to the Arkham series in that style of gameplay. So I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man is Infamous with Spider-Man.
I would be okay with that. I actually really liked Infamous. They came out with the expansion after it was, you beat it, you could get the expansion, and I got that even because I liked it that much.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't. But as far as Spider-Man goes, I am a little intrigued now because I looked more into it. Because at the end of the trailer, they had a villain I had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And just his coloring and stuff, I was like, who is this guy? So he's new to me. I looked him up. His name is Mr. Negative, and he made his first full appearance in the comics during 2008, so that's probably why I haven't heard of him.
Oh, he's a relatively new villain.
Yeah, and so his appearance is that of a photographic negative, and he has both light and dark powers. And I want to say, I'm just guessing here, maybe like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where like he has dark powers and a dark side, and light powers and a light side. So things that he has are like superhuman strength and reflexes. He can charge items with black electrical energy. I'm guessing that's almost like a Gambit kind of deal.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And what must be like his dark side power, he can control those whom he touches with his electrical energy, I guess. I don't know if it's mind control. So then he also has a light side healing ability, which is cool. And then the game, I guess, is going to introduce an ability to project powerful electricity-like blasts from the energy of his hands. So those are his powers. I don't really know much about his backstory, but he looks like a cool villain. That's what made me look this up more. And what also intrigues me, one, the Spider-Man we follow in the game is going to be Miles Morales, not Peter Parker.
Okay.
That doesn't mean Peter Parker's not in the game. Apparently, this game is going to be about duality, where Spider-Man's story and Peter Parker's story are weaved together to give you bigger story implications and give you a big human element to this story beyond superhero stories. And then the other thing that was kind of cool is that Spider-Man's web swinging will be based on physics and not scripted, so it's going to add a little bit more realism to the game.
So with you saying that it follows Miles Morales, I wonder how much this is going to follow the storyline of the movie that I brought up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it could be.
With that trailer, the Into the Spider-Verse trailer.
I'm looking for the trailer, Kyle. What trailer did you watch? Was it the 8-minute one? There's like a long one that was from E3.
It's like 2 minutes.
Okay. I'll have to check that out later.
I don't know how tightly it's going to tie to this movie, Chase, but I do know that the game creators is it Insidious?
Insomniac Games. That is who did Infamous.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Insomniac Games have been working very closely with Marvel Studios as far as the writing of this story. So I don't know how that relates to the movie that you saw the trailer for, but it will be relatable to Marvel and the universe.
Okay. I feel like because it has Miles Morales, it will probably tie in some way. I feel like the game might end up just being like an expansion of the story. So wherever Into the Spider-Verse, wherever that movie leaves off, I feel like this will pick up or something like that.
The cutscenes in this are really good. I don't know if that's actually game footage, but the character that they're saying is Miles Morales, he looks a lot more like Peter Parker, doesn't he?
No. So Peter Parker's in that, and then Miles Morales as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's Peter Parker. Okay, there's Miles Morales. Sorry. This is probably... Oh, is that Kingpin?
Yeah, he is arrested at the beginning of the game, so he's not the major focus. Or at least he's not supposed to be.
Oh, that's Mr. Negative. He looks cool. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm not doing a good job hosting tonight. No. So anyone have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Very good. We'll move on. But before we move on to the next segment, let's first get a word from our friends.
This segment is brought to you by Geek-Cetera. Girls give us fake phone numbers.
All right. We're back, and we're going to actually have a great debate this week, which we haven't had one in quite a while.
No.
So, this is one that we've been hinting at for a while. We even talked about it on our Reddit page where we're going to talk about this. But let's start. And Kyle, I'll let you. This was your idea, so I'll let you take the reins here.
Okay. Well,
tonight we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of
Geek-Cetera.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right.
You've been waiting to do that for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So what's our great debate topic tonight?
Okay. So, episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yep. Terrible movie.
That's not what we're debating.
Well.
Anyways, so here's the thing. The Last Jedi, Luke, when he's talking at the end of the movie to unmask Kylo Ren, why did I call him that? When he's talking to Kylo Ren, he says... He basically tells him that Luke will not be the last Jedi, referring to Rey. Now, does that mean Rey is a Jedi at that point? And I guess the greater question is, at what point are you? Not you, but is someone... At what point is someone a Jedi?
So the first thing that I want to tackle with that is I don't know that Luke was hinting directly at Rey. He said, "I will not be the last Jedi," and I think Kylo assumes that he's talking about Rey, and the camera shot pans to Rey, so they're trying to get us to see Rey. But then you see that kid with the broom at the end of the story. So I think Luke is referring to a more broad sense that the Jedi Order is going to rise again,
Continue.
rather than specifically Rey will be the next Jedi, even though she will, and we're going to see that in Episode 9. It's going to be bad, but I think he's thinking grand scheme of things. As Jedi tend to do, they tend to try and look forward to the future and whatever, whereas the Sith are very instinctive and they just react to things in time. And so I think Kylo is thinking very short term.
Well, I mean, the Sith planned their revenge over thousands of years.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, but if you think about Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, they all have their moments when they're in hatred like that, where they react out of instinct rather than thinking things through. Whereas you see an experienced Jedi like Yoda or Obi-Wan who takes the time to digest the situation and then come up with a plan of attack rather than attack first, think later.
All right, and then to clarify, you weren't saying that Luke is specifically referencing Broom Kid, right? Like, he doesn't have his own brood of Skywalkers all over the galaxy,
No,
and that's what he's been doing for the past 30 years?
I think he's referencing the greater Jedi Order.
Okay. I like it. Not bad.
Okay, I agree.
That was just, I wanted to get that off of the plate.
No, I agree. I don't know. I think this is a complicated question because I'm a big fan of the old Republic, and to become a Jedi back then, you actually had to go through trials, and there was training that needed to be done, and it was a long process. And then in the Skywalker series, we haven't seen that process. So it's almost like, while yes, Luke is a Jedi, he wouldn't have been a Jedi if he were born during the time of the Old Republic, because he never goes through those trials. He never goes through all that.
So the trials differ for different people. So when Luke goes to Yoda in Return of the Jedi, and he says, "Then I am a Jedi," and Yoda laughs at him.
Yeah.
But his trial was going and facing his father and the Emperor.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah, but I think that
Jedi,
was like he was made a Jedi out of necessity, right? Like, if the Jedi Order was as powerful as it had been in the past, that would not have been the way he would have become a Jedi. But because there was a necessity for someone to rise up and to defeat the evil, he was rushed into being a Jedi.
Was it a necessity for Obi-Wan to be appointed? Because Obi-Wan in the prequels, he kills a Sith, and they consider that, dealing with his master's death and keeping level-headed in order to defeat the Sith was his version of the trials, and that's when they appointed him a knight.
But we don't know how long he was a Padawan either. I mean,
we can assume that,
How old was Obi-Wan in that movie? In his 20s? In his 30s? I don't know. How old was he?
20s.
He was probably supposed to be early 20s, late teens.
I'm curious about how old he was supposed to be.
Yeah,
and he was still a Padawan.
Yes.
And most likely, which maybe we'll get an origin story from Obi-Wan, but he most likely started his training when he was young.
Yes.
Because that's how most Jedi did start their training. So you figure how long it took him to become a Jedi. It wasn't like it happened as quickly as it did with Luke.
In Legends, he had been a Padawan when he turned 12, and he must have been at the Jedi Temple long before he was 9, because that's how old Anakin was when he went to the temple. So probably he was...
And they were saying he was too old to start, right?
Right, so I'm just guessing, because it's not canon anymore, but Obi-Wan was probably a youngling at the temple for like 7 years, and then was a Padawan for another 10.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just saying that while it's hard to say at what point to become a Jedi, because in the past, it was a much longer period than it was with, we didn't even call Luke a Padawan at all. He was never a Padawan. He went from being a Force sensitive, maybe, I guess, to being a Jedi fairly quickly. So And I'm only willing to say that he was a Jedi because he calls himself a Jedi, I suppose. But it's really a fuzzy thing. In a perfect world, in a perfect galaxy, where the Jedi have temples and training academies, it takes years and years to become a Jedi, and a lot of discipline. And in the Skywalker series, we don't see that at all. It basically, you can become a Jedi fairly quickly out of necessity.
Yeah, but it's not like they're just willy-nilly appointing Jedi. And Luke still had to undergo something that was considered a trial to him.
What did Rey have to do?
Rey hasn't done anything, which is why she is not a Jedi yet.
I think she thinks she's a Jedi.
Oh, she certainly does. But Luke thought he was a Jedi in Return of the Jedi. And Yoda laughed at him.
And that's the only reason we say he is a Jedi, though, because he thought he was a Jedi. No one else can confirm that he was a Jedi.
No, well, Yoda sort of did. Yoda said, "You must confront your father, only then a Jedi will you be."
And he did confront his father.
He confronted his father. He was able to turn his father back to the light side, and he was able to destroy the Emperor. So,
yeah.
Rey is going to be under the impression that she is a Jedi, and I'm hoping that we get Luke in the next episode to tell her, hey, you're not a Jedi yet.
Yeah.
And we'll see some Force Ghost training and whatever. And we'll try and get her to the stage, but I don't know that by the end of the next movie that she will be a Jedi.
Well, I think in her mind she is already.
In her mind and in Disney's mind she will be. In the mind of what makes a Jedi, I don't think she will be.
Yeah. She basically has no master anymore.
So can we agree that because Episode 6 was called Return of the Jedi, that by the end of the movie, the Jedi had returned in that Luke was a Jedi?
Yes.
I suppose.
Well, how would you... all right, well, how would you...
I mean, a hybrid form of Jedi, I would say, but not really, I don't know.
So is Luke not a Jedi in The Last Jedi?
No, I mean, at that point, I'd say he is. He had the Jedi textbooks at that point. I don't know where he got those. Somewhere in between movies.
So a textbook is what makes him a Jedi?
Well, he studied, at least.
In that case, I've got my college textbook sitting next to me. Does that mean I'm already graduated from college?
If you studied them.
I don't think that that's necessarily true. I could read through these 3 books sitting right here next to me.
Well, here's the thing.
They're not going to say, oh, here you go, here's your diploma.
If he would have went to the Jedi Academy, he would have trained, he would have read the Jedi textbooks, he probably would have gone through some trials, and he would have, if he passed and was... But then at the point where Luke, there is no one to pass him. There's no one left. So I guess at that point, when society breaks down and there is no college that's going to give you a diploma, Luke, Chase, if you read the textbooks, then you can consider yourself an expert.
Fair enough.
Okay, fine. I'll agree with that.
So for a long time, I thought Luke was a Jedi in Empire Strikes Back, but I'm going to go by EA games as a reference because they are officially licensed by Star Wars to produce Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So Commander Luke Skywalker, which is a character in that game, his only faction is Rebel. Commander Luke Skywalker comes from that Empire Strikes Back timeline. So
that's with like the Bespin outfit?
With the Bespin outfit, yeah. So he is not a Jedi in Empire Strikes Back. That's what I believe.
Yep.
Now, if I'm going to use the same logic, Rey is also not a Jedi because the character released for The Last Jedi is Rey Jedi Training. She's listed as Resistance as her only faction, not Jedi. So by that point in the movie, she's not a Jedi as well, and I would agree with that.
Yep.
Because in thinking about it, how long is the timeline from the beginning of The Force Awakens until the end of The Last Jedi?
I don't think it's very long.
Yeah, it can't
Weeks, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So,
what was her when she was on Octo? What was that? 3 days?
Yeah. So like she's definitely not a Jedi yet, but the range of skills she's displayed in a few weeks is kind of a little over the top, I think. A little overpowered.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's OP.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have anything else to add to the great debate?
Yeah. So the only thing I want to say is that I think that being a Jedi has to have something to do with constructing your own lightsaber.
I could see that. We don't even find that out about how Luke did that at all.
Right, but Vader does comment on that, and I think that definitely plays.
Yeah.
I
don't necessarily disagree, but I don't agree either.
I mean, I think that was a really important part back in the day of becoming a Jedi, was creating your own lightsaber.
Because it is created
yeah,
with the
I'm
Force.
thinking-
But I don't think he wouldn't even have had to create a lightsaber. Like, that's why I'm saying everything around Luke is so out of necessity, because he wouldn't even had to do that step if his father didn't cut his hand off and he lost his first lightsaber.
And I'm thinking Clone Wars stuff here, the TV series. Would you consider younglings to be Jedi, or are they just Force sensitive in training?
They don't well, that's a good question.
Because the younglings in the Clone Wars TV series went to the ice planet, collected their crystals, and made their own lightsabers. And then they had to rescue Ahsoka Tano. But
Yeah.
would you consider them Jedi? Because they're not even Padawans yet. They're still younglings.
Yeah, I think they're still Force sensitive at that point. I don't know that you
They're still Force
consider
sensitive, but
consider them Jedi. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess they're on the path of the Jedi, but they're not Jedi yet.
I would say you have to be chosen as a Padawan to be able to identify yourself as a Jedi. You can study at the temple, but you cannot identify yourself as a Jedi until you are chosen as a Padawan, or in Luke's case, until you call yourself a Jedi Knight and create your own lightsaber. I think the rules are very fast and loose now that all the Jedi are dead.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you're right. Everything went out the window when that happened. That's right. We got some breaking news, guys.
it's fancy.
Yeah. So I know that everyone's been excited for Incredibles 2.
Not really.
No? I think
No?
people are incredibly excited about that. Did you get the pun? Anyways, Disney just announced that if you want to see more about Incredibles 2, then watch the Olympics tonight on NBC. So could get a trailer tonight for Incredibles 2 during Olympics.
Breaking news that our listeners will hear in about 4 or 5 days. So watch the Olympics from 4 days ago.
Are we not supposed to? Just because it takes you 5 days to edit a podcast, are we not supposed to try to give them the most up-to-date news?
No, we should. I don't want someone who's listening on Monday to be like, "Oh, I gotta watch the Olympics tonight."
Well, this is February 14th. So if you're listening to this later than that, then it's not really going to be breaking news.
But if you haven't heard about this news yet, it is.
Yes. Exactly. So, and we can go back to our great debate. Is there anything else that we have to talk about for the great debate?
I don't think so.
I think that's it. I think the great debate's done.
Breaking news: the great debate is over.
Well, you didn't play the music this time.
All right.
It's not official.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
If anyone wonders why it takes him so long to edit, it's because of himself. That was a different song.
Wow, it keeps going too.
It keeps going. It's the breaking news that never ends.
Breaking news: the great debate is over.
That is true. That's not breaking, but it is news. All right. So that's it for the episode. We really hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I know it was a little quicker than usual, but we just didn't have a whole lot to go over. But join us next time for another thrilling adventure. But until then, Wilson!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
There's a problem on the horizon. There's no horizon.
Want more from the geeks? Please check out www.geek-cetera.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @Geek-Cetera or subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and if you want to discuss your own favorite geeky topics, join us on Reddit by searching r/Geek-Cetera. You may even get a shout out in a future episode. This episode is brought to you by the Geek-Cetera team. Now this is podcasting.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
can you cut this out, what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, I want you to play like breaking news music because I have breaking news. Okay?
Okay.